Welcome back to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. We have with us, back for more, David Teitel. David was with us in our episode yesterday, now taping yesterday, and I believe he did enjoy it. I could see that you loved it, and my batteries were fully charged. I was so flushed when I went home, I couldn't get to sleep. So people always ask me, after you finish your taping, do you go home and take a sedative? No, I don't. I don't need a sedative. I can sleep very comfortably whenever I want. But the idea is to recharge your body batteries with your stretching. Every time you stretch, you release endorphins. And getting an endorphin high, getting that healthful high, is so much better than putting stuff into your body. Don't you agree, David? Instead of putting stuff to make yourself feel high. Before we go ahead and have David say a little more about how he felt yesterday and maybe tell us a little more about himself, I want our viewers to know that Yogaxpress airs Monday through Friday on Time Warner 57, RCN 84, and Fios 35 at 1:30 Eastern Time. That's 1:30 in the afternoon. You could also go to mnn.org, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and go to the website for this TV station, and you could watch us in live stream. We have, besides this workshop, this program, we have a lot of help for you. We have a website, yogaxpress.com, yogaxpress.com, and yogaxpress.blogspot.com. So visit the website and the blog to get a good sense of the kind of discussions we might have sometimes right here. The postures, getting in and out of the postures. Actually, David, correct me, getting into a posture is much easier than getting out of it sometimes, right? Getting out of a posture gracefully is not easy. And you will notice today we're going to do a few back bends. We're going to take you through some back bends. It's very important to know the right technique getting out. I know David's very flexible. He's extremely comfortable doing back bends. So I want you to watch us closely, especially David. Make sure that you learn the technique before you get into these back bends yourself. Now, a little bit of housekeeping before we start stretching with you and for you. We have a fridge magnet with a very simple ailment-specific sequence called 48 Plus. It has 48 simple, low-impact stretches that target 8 common ailments by addressing 32 major muscle groups, glands, and organs. And when you get the flow, when you get the hang of the flow of these postures, you can actually complete the sequence in under 20 minutes. So you have the sequence right here on the fridge magnet. You have a postcard with the same sequence. Put this in your handbag. Stick this on your fridge. Don't give yourself any excuses not to stretch. David and I are not going to let you go that easy, so stay with us. We also have a book called Yoga Secrets. If you come on our show, we will give you a copy of this book. This has 10 ailment-specific cards inside. All you do is just pick, and that's what we're going to do today. Today we're not going to pick our sequence today by ailment, David. What we're going to do is go by regions of the body. So today we're targeting back bends. So you have 10 ailment-specific cards. So you can just do 20 stretches for asthma, arthritis. We have 8 common ailments we've identified, plus 1 main card with all the stretches. So that's enough housekeeping right there. David, before we start doing our back bends, I would like you to give me and the viewers a chance to hear what you have to say about your experience yesterday. It was the first time you came on our show, right?
Yeah, it was very refreshing. At the end of the workout, I really felt renewed.
Did you go and do some bar hopping when you left the studios yesterday?
Yep, actually.
Did you? And I'm sure you felt all that energy, the blood rushing to the head. We did the sun salutation with a Yogaxpress twist. the point is we had worked every major muscle group, right? And David, tell our viewers, whenever you're ready, would you be willing to share some of your acting clips? You're an actor, right? Mm-hmm. So anything more you want to share? I know you do rowing. Mm-hmm. And anything else you want to share about yourself? You have any secret hobbies? Secret racing history? No, that's fine. And you're in high school, aren't you?
Yeah.
How do you make time for all these activities?
Good question. I don't really have the time. I just kind of make do.
Right. Your body tells you when you feel good about doing something, you want to keep doing that, and then everything else falls in place, right? David, I'm so glad you're back here today with
Thank
us.
you.
And I would like our viewers to understand he may be very flexible in a lot of these postures, but if you are not able to go as deep as David, or in some postures maybe as deep as me as well, mostly it's David. He's very, very flexible. Don't get discouraged. I want you to do the best you can on any given day. So, David, let's help workshop some of the back bends for our viewers. So, I have a little cheat sheet. David and I, all the ones that we've checked off, David, we're going to try and do those.
Okay.
So, we start off with Hasta Uttana, which was the beginning of the sun salutation yesterday, but that also has a little bit of a back bend. It involves your low back. David, why don't you turn a little more to face me this way? So just a little so that they can see us in profile. The cameras will pick us up. Now, just a little. Turn a little. That's it. You're facing that camera, and I'll face this one. Hands together in front of your chest. Elbows are up. Heels together. Toes apart. Inhale, the arms up. Take your arms up. Hasta Uttana, arms raised. Now, we are going to do these postures, workshop them one at a time for you. So it's not going to be a vinyasa. It's not a flowing sequence. We're going to point out. And David, I want David to hold every posture. We're going to try and hold it for a little longer. I want to point out what are the muscle groups that you're stretching. Notice how, David, you might want to bring that. That's it. Beautiful. Notice how even though David has a very nice straight back, he is engaging his low back in order to keep his arms up. So he's got a nice tricep stretch right there, and he's got his ears, his biceps are really close to his ears. His back is nice and straight. You don't want to curve your back too much, but as long as you have a very strong low back, you're safe. Notice how his knees are close together. So you want to make sure you keep your knees together. Don't tense them, but bring them close. The closer you are, the firmer your posture. And if you stand with the correct alignment, you can hold a posture for very long, and holding times are very important. So arms are up. Now we're going to just exhale, bring our arms down, David. Exhale, bring your arms down. We are in the studio, so we have the luxury of a little more space with just two of us. We bring our arms down. Sometimes if you have less space, be mindful of people around you. Bring your arms down in front of you. Hasta Uttana. Next posture, David, is a very intense back bend. It's called Tiryangasana. Tiryang means intense back bend. Literally, it's a back fold. It's an inversion, intense inversion. So again, we are going to, hopefully you'll be able to see us in profile so you know how we're going to take this posture and go back. Actually, no, you know what? Let's face the front, David. You'll be more comfortable. Heels are together, toes are apart. Hi, Ron. You can join us in this episode if you want, or watch us for a while. This time you want to bring your feet out about, did you want to join us? We're taping. Okay, all right. Just come whenever, maybe next time. Now this time you want to bring both your feet about 6 to 8, let's say about 8 to 10 inches apart from each other. Put your brakes on, so bring your toes in. Now we're going to do an intense back bend, so you want to be sure that you don't slip. Now, before we get into that posture, please understand that if you feel that the back bend is going to be a bit challenging for you, you might want to bring your feet further apart. The closer your feet are to each other, the more intense is going to be your back bend. So I'm at midpoint. Now, David and I have both got our toes in. Place your palms on your buttocks. Now, once your palms are flat on your buttocks, you want to push your elbows back. That'll open up your chest, and it'll just give you a lot of breathing space right there. It'll enhance your lung power as well. Now, inhale, take your chin up, fill your lungs with air. Once you go past midpoint, start exhaling and glide your palms down the back of your thighs. Remember, feel free to bend your knees if you have to. Just hold your position nice and secure. And do not stop breathing. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale and relax. I didn't want to come out of that position to point out to you, but I noticed through the side of my eye, David, you look very comfortable doing that back bend. Help our viewers understand, how exactly did you get that deep? What muscles were you engaging when you got into that back bend? Was it mostly the low back?
It was the back and
The back of the legs as well? And did you feel that you, because we had our feet, both of us had our feet apart, so did you feel that when you talk about the back of the legs, I also felt a little bit of a stretch in the front, but I sort of tensed them up, so my pelvic region, we tensed up the sphincters as well, because that helped us keep our fulcrum nice and secure, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be very careful. Be intelligent about your practice. Be safe. So Tiryangasana is an intense back bend. You don't always have to go very deep. Some people can go all the way to the floor. I was just somewhere just above or just around my knee, the back of my knee. David, how far did you manage? Almost to the knee, I noticed you're pretty
much
deep.
Behind my knee, yeah.
Right. Don't get discouraged. It doesn't matter where you go. Do the best you can. Okay, let's go into, where's my little cheat sheet? Okay, another back bend is Ashwini, Ashwasanchala, the equestrian. Now, getting into that posture from a transitional mode is very different. Now we're doing it in isolation. So, bring your feet apart. Both feet are one in front of the other. Both feet are facing forward. So let's say you've got the heel of your right foot is about 2 feet away from the toe of your left foot. Actually, you know what, David? You're very tall. You may want to bring it, in fact, I'm going to bring it further in front as well. What you want to do is exhale, bend both your knees, keep exhaling, bring the left knee on the floor, and once your left knee is down, uncurl the toes in your left foot, and now, I'm going to go back a little, I can't move all that stuff. Now, once you're in position, Ashwasanchala, you may want to first exhale and dip your hip. When you dip your hip the way we are doing right now, if you find your knee is going way over the toes, you might want to wiggle your toes a little more in front. David's very tall, so he needs a little more distance between his legs to get the most out of this stretch. I'm not very tall, but I still try, but I don't want to go, I cannot go as deep as he can. It doesn't matter what your anatomical proportions, what your capacity at the time. Just try the best you can. Now, just to take you into a little bit of a back bend in this posture, we already, David, do you feel you're using your low back yet? Not yet, right?
Not as much.
So if you want to feel a little more of a challenge to feel that intense back bend, what you want to do is, first of all, take your arms up. Clasp your palms together in any manner that you've been trained by your school. Now, I'm going to cross my fingers over. Some schools keep their index fingers up. And keep dipping and take your arms behind. Now you should feel your back muscles tensing up. Well, they shouldn't tense up, they should tighten up. Just strengthen a little bit and hold. Let's come out of that. Inhale, ease off. Now, this is the part we were talking about. Sometimes coming out of a posture is a little harder than getting into it. We want to be very graceful about this. We're going to switch legs. So let's place our palms beside our right foot, take the left foot back, and then take the right foot back, bring the left foot forward, uncurl your toes in the left foot, and dip your hip. Now, once you are in position where you are, Ashwasanchala equestrian, you should feel a wonderful stretch in the front of your quadriceps, but the idea in today's episode is to feel the strengthening of your low back. So what we're going to do is take you through a slight variation of this posture. Inhale, bring your arms up. Clasp your palms together. Once you've made that connection, wiggle your biceps behind your ears and tilt your head up. That'll help you strengthen your low back. You have to engage your low back to hold your position. Remember, just hold the position, don't hold your breath. Inhale, ease off just a little bit. Place your palms on your knees and let's come out of that. Let's go directly into cat. Bring both your knees below your hips, hands and knees on the floor. Your hands are shoulder width apart, your knees are hip width apart, and you want to keep your toes curled in for the beginning of this posture. We're going to take you workshop a posture, simple posture called Marjarya or cat. Now the cat posture has a very undulating motion. So if you watched a cat, do you have cats, David?
No.
Have you ever had a cat as a pet? Have you observed them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I actually had, one of the participants has cats at home. You should watch her. Wow. She must be watching her cats all day, but she does it beautifully. Now, the back is going to go through a wonderful undulating motion. So you're going to go into a concave, and then you're going to arch your back. So you get a beautiful stretch both ways, going down. You're strengthening the back, going in concave, and then you're arching your back. You're getting a stretch. Hands directly below the shoulders, fingers are splayed, knees directly below the hips, toes are curled in. We're going to inhale and dip the torso, the middle point of your torso, to the floor. Lift your chin, chest, and your buttocks up. First, let's inhale. Keep your toes curled in. So just pretend you're a cat. Exhale, uncurl your toes, arch your back. Let's try that one more time. Curl your toes in. Inhale. Dip your torso, lift your chin and your buttocks. Exhale, arch your back. So let's come into neutral position so that we can help our viewers understand that when you inhale, especially when you inhale, what you're doing is you're engaging your low back and strengthening the low back muscles. So even though it's not a traditional back bend, you still have to curve your back, right? So you want to make sure that you actually strengthen your muscles. Always strengthen the core muscles, and you can do them in isolation. If it's a back bend, you want to strengthen your low back muscles. So your core are your lower abdominal muscles, your upper abdominal muscles, your gluteals, and your sacral region, the low back, just above the buttocks. Okay, now we're going to do another traditional back bend. It's called Ustrasana. Ustra is camel. We're still in seated position. Let's come up on our knees. Keep your feet flat. You can do this. Do you remember the camel posture at your yoga school or wherever you practice? Okay, we're going to workshop it for you. There are two ways of getting into this posture. The idea is to take your hands to your heels. So the right hand will go to the right heel, left hand goes to the left heel. Now you think, how are we going to do that? There are no tricks. There are little tips and techniques. So there are two ways. You could curl your toes in, and if you do that, that brings your heel closer to your hands, makes it a little easier, and of course we will be bending backward. But remember, when you curl your toes in, there's more pressure on your knees. So maybe with David, he may not have a problem with his knees, but as we grow older, we do have a problem. We have less of that synovial fluid, less of that lubricant in the knees. It might hurt. So I'm going to keep my feet flat. So you could do it both ways. Just know the difference. What we're going to do is we're going to glide our palms down, just like in the standing back bend. We're going to glide our palms down and take one hand at a time to touch our heels. Again, in this posture, just as in the standing one, the further apart your knees are from each other, the easier it is to get into your posture. But if you want to really, really challenge yourself, I'm not always up to it, but I'm just going to tell you this, you can keep your knees really close. But remember, it's going to be really intense, terribly intense on your quadriceps. So we're going to be at midpoint, so about 6 to 8 inches apart. Place your palms on your buttocks. Inhale the chin up, open up your chest, take your elbows back to try and meet each other. Now exhale, glide your hands down the back of your buttocks, the back of your thighs. Right hand reaches for the right heel, left hand reaches for the left heel. Once you've made that connection, tilt your pelvis forward. You want to try and hold that position as long as you can. Your head tilts back, pelvis comes forward, and hold. Inhale, place your right hand on your buttock, left hand on your buttock. Inhale, let's come up very gently, and now just to ease off the back just a little bit. Actually, we'll do one more. Let's ease the back a little bit. Let's just fold over just for a moment. This is not a back bend, but you need to do this when you do intense back bends, just to ease any tension, any potential tension in your back. Now we're going to go, let's inhale, come up. We're going to workshop you, take you through a posture called Supta Vajra. Supta Vajra, Supta is supine, Vajra or Vajra is diamond. Supine diamond. Some schools may teach you to sit with your buttocks between your heels. Now, sitting that way is going to be a bit intense on your ankles. So in our sequence, in our episode, we try and keep it very simple. So we're going to sit on our heels, not between the heels. We're going to sit on our heels. But in this posture, you want to try and keep your knees closer if you can. Again, if it's too intense, you can bring your knees out. But the inclination, when you bring your knees out, the inclination is to just relax and go limp. So this will help you stay alert. Place your right hand behind your right hip. Left hand goes behind the left hip. And very gently, you may want to make a few adjustments if you need to. Gently bring the elbow down. Keep your head up. Don't tilt it back just yet. Bring the left elbow down now. Once both the elbows on the floor, tilt your head back. When you tilt your head back this way, you might find that there may be a bit of a temptation to lift your knees off of the floor. You don't want to do that. When you do that, you're actually putting pressure on your ankles. Now, you're going to wonder where is the back bend in this. If you bring your elbows closer together, you'll feel your low back strengthening a little more because you need to strengthen your low back to hold yourself up. And let's tilt back. Inhale, press with the palms. Let's come up one elbow at a time. Then the left, and then bring your head back. And again, if you just want to hold your opposite elbows behind you, just fold over a little bit to ease any tension. The camel, actually, just a little bit of feedback, David. The camel may have been a bit intense, but this back bend wasn't too intense, right? This one was a little milder. You didn't feel too much intensity. Okay, let's do the pigeon. We're already on our knees. So now what you want to do is keep your right knee where it is. Take your left leg all the way back. Bring your right foot forward. So first you want to sit on your right hip. Bring your right foot forward. And then adjust your hips so your body is nicely aligned and centered. And you want to just hold. Now you should feel a delicious stretch in your abductor muscles, the outside of your upper right thigh. 6, great, thank you. You should feel a wonderful stretch on the outside of your upper right thigh. So let's hold that. And right here, if your pelvis is really close to the floor, you should already feel a bit of a strengthening of your low back. If you don't feel it, you want to bring your right foot forward if you can. And if that's not going to do it for you today, what we're going to do is just inhale, lift the chin up so that you strengthen your low back and hold your position. When you're lifting your chin up, you want to take advantage of that moment. Bring your shoulders back. When you bring your shoulders back, you're going to feel your low back strengthening as well. Now, let's just fold over just a little bit. You always want counter postures for every yoga posture. Inhale, let's come up. Now, let's switch legs as gracefully as we can. Swing the right leg forward, and then take the left leg forward, take the right leg all the way back. Now, when you take your right leg back, you want to keep your toes curled in the beginnings, just so you can push your leg further when you go back. And actually, David, do you find I have to ask you this. Do you find one side of your body cooperates a little more? It's more flexible than the other? You feel that too, right? Good. I'm glad I'm not alone in that. So once you've got your leg out as far back as you can, you want to uncurl your toes and stretch. So now this time you should feel a wonderful stretch in your abductor muscles on the outside of your upper left thigh. Now if you really want to feel the intensity of this posture, just for the stretches on the side of your thighs, you can bring your foot forward. For me, that's not going to happen anytime today or anytime soon, actually. So I'm happy where I am. But if you can bring it forward, traditionally, actually, David, just so you know, traditionally, we would tuck our heel into the groin because the idea is to massage this part just below the abdomen in the pelvic region. But, nowadays it's more stretching of the muscles, so that's okay, that works too. Now, you want to feel a little more intensity in your back. Bring your hands back, and this time I'm going to inhale, lift the chin up. And hold, take your shoulders back. That will help strengthen your back. Inhale, curl your toes in. Let's release, and let's see what's the next one. Oh yes, let's go straight. Take your left leg back. Very good. You anticipated the next one all the way into Bhujang. So take both your legs back. Bring your pelvis down. Bring your chest down. And Bhujang, Cobra, is the only posture in our sequence anyway where your start position is with the forehead to the floor. Most prone positions, it starts with the chin to the floor. Cobra, you just think of yourself as a cobra or a snake. It always has its hood down until it is attacked or it's startled, then it brings the hood up. Palms directly below your shoulders, feet are flat. Now, you don't want to curl your toes in Cobra because there's a lot of pressure on the knees if you do that. Tops of your feet are flat on the floor. Great, thank you. Now, to be able to feel the strengthening of the low back in Bhujang or Cobra, you want to press with your palms first. Inhale, lift your chin and your chest off of the floor. So first press with your palms. Inhale and lift. Keep the tops of your feet on the floor because you need to use your foot strength as well. You need to press the floor with the tops of your feet to bring yourself up. Now, if you really want to test your low back, take your palms off of the floor. Keep inhaling. It'll help you lift. And hold. Exhale. Release in my little cheat sheet. Oh, we can go straight into bow. Bow or Navasana. Nava is boat, actually. Sorry. Before we go into bow, we go into boat. Bring your arms out in front of you. So I have all this junk in front of me, so I'm going to move it out. Arms are extended in front, palms facing each other. Now you can bring your arms up to shoulder width. That's fine. But I like to keep it close because when I need to, I can clasp them easier. Feet are close together. We're going to inhale, engage our low back muscles and lift our chin, chest, and our knees off of the floor. Inhale and lift. Now you can keep your palms apart. Keep them always facing each other because that way you're conserving your energy. You don't want your energy to go out. Exhale. Now, very gently lower your knees and your arms. Take your right hand to your right ankle. Left hand reaches for the left ankle. And this time, if you want to bring your knees out just a little bit, that's okay. But once you've made the connection with both your ankles, try to bring your knees closer together. Flex your feet. You don't want to hold your toes. You want to hold your ankles. Chin is on the floor. We're going to inhale, engage the low back muscles. Inhale, lift the knees, chin and chest off of the floor. Pelvis stays down. Inhale and lift. Very nice. We're almost out of time today. I hope you had a good stretch. And I know David and I did. Exhale and release. Thanks to Rich and Jeanette for crewing for us today. David Teitel, thank you. Let's come up. David Teitel, thank you so much for coming back. I really feel that this program, between you and us today, this program is going to give our viewers a lot to think about. They're going to, feel stronger. And any feedback? How do you feel today?
Great.
You feel good? And strengthening the back, especially for young people, if you have a job where you have to move a lot of heavy stuff, viewers, just remember, if you are young and strong, you're not going to stay, I didn't stay that way for very long. So someday you're going to feel your body relaxing or getting a little weaker. If you want to stay strong, you want to be mindful and respectful of your body. Hi, Rich. And you want to make sure...